Well, just after we had leisurely entered a new reach of the river, round the corner after us, propelled at a phenomenal pace, came our fishing canoe, which we had left behind to haul in the net and then rejoin us. The occupants, particularly the big black AB, were shouting something in terror-stricken accents. "What?" says Abanjo, springing to his feet. "The fan! The fan!" shouted the canoe men as they shot towards us like agitated chickens making for their hen. In another moment, they were alongside and tumbling over our gunwale into the bottom of the vessel, still crying, "The fan! The fan! The fan!" A banjo then, by means of energetic questioning, externally applied, and, accompanied by florid language that cast a rosy pink glow smelling of sulphur round us, elicited the information that about 40,000 fan, armed with knives and guns, were coming down the Rmbw with intent to kill and slay us, and might be expected to arrive within the next half wink. On hearing this, the whole of our gallant crew took up masterly recumbent positions in the bottom of our vessel and turned grey round the lips. But Abanjo rose to the situation like 10 lions. "Take the rudder," he shouted to me. "Take her into the middle of the stream and keep the sail full." It occurred to me that perhaps a position underneath the bamboo staging might be more healthy than one on top of it, exposed to every microbe of a bit of old iron and whatnot, and half of that, according to native testimony, would shortly be frisking through the atmosphere from those fan guns. And moreover, I had not forgotten having been previously shot in a somewhat similar situation, though in better company. However, I did not say anything, neither, between ourselves, did I somehow believe in those fans. So, regardless of danger, I grasped the helm and sent our gallant craft flying before the breeze down the bosom of the great wild river. That's the proper way to put it, but in interest of science it may be translated into crawling towards the middle. Meanwhile, Abanjo performed prodigies of valor all over the place. He triced up the mainsail, stirred up his faint-hearted crew, and got out the sweeps, i.e. one old oar and 4 paddles, and with this assistance we solemnly trudged away from danger at a pace that nothing slower than a Thames dumb barge going against stream could have possibly overhauled. Still, we did not feel safe, and I suggested to Nguta that he should rise up and help, but he declined, stating he was a married man. Abanjo, cheering the paddlers with inspiring words, sprang with the agility of a leopard onto the bamboo staging aft, standing there with his gun ready loaded and cocked to face the coming foe, looking like a statue put up to himself at the public expense. The worst of this was, however, that while Abanjo's face was to the coming foe, his back was to the crew, and they forthwith commenced to subside into the bottom of the boat, paddles and all. I, as second in command, on seeing this, said a few blood-stirring words to them, and Abanjo sent a few more of great power at them over his shoulder, and so we kept the paddles going. Presently, from round the corner shot a fan canoe. It contained a lady in the bows, weeping and wringing her hands, while another lady, sympathetically howling, paddled it. Abanjo, in lurid language, requested to be informed why they were following us. The lady in the bow said, "My son, my son!" And in a second more, 3 other canoes shot round the corner, full of men with guns. Now this looked like business, so Abanjo and I looked round to urge our crew to greater exertion, and saw, to our disgust, that the gallant band had successfully subsided into the bottom of the boat, while we had been eyeing the foe. Abanjo gave me a recipe for getting the sweeps out again. I did not follow it, but got the job done, for Abanjo could not take his eye and gun off the leading canoe, and the canoes, having crept up to within some 20 yards of us, poured out their simple tale of woe. It seemed that one of those miscreant boys was a runaway from a fan village. He had been desirous, with the usual enterprise of young fans, of seeing the great world that he knew lay down at the mouth of the river, i.e. Libreville, Gabon. He had pleaded with his parents for leave to go down and engage in his work there, but the said parents, holding the tenderness of his youth unfitted to combat with coast town life and temptation, refused this request. And so the young rascal had run away without leave, and with a canoe, and was surmised to have joined the well-known Rmbw. Rmbw owned that he had, more armed canoes were coming around the corner, and said if the mother would come and fetch her boy, she could have him. He, for his part, would not have dreamed of taking him if he had known his relations disapproved. Everyone seemed much relieved, except the causa belli. The fans did not ask about the two boys, and providentially we gave the lady the right one. He went reluctantly. I feel pretty nearly sure he foresaw more cassingo than fatted calf for him on his return home. When the fan canoes were well back around the corner again, we had a fine hunt for the other boy, and finally unearthed him from under the bamboo staging. When we got him out, he told the same tale. He was also a runaway who wanted to see the world, and, taking the opportunity of the majority of the people of his village being away hunting, he had slipped off one night in a canoe and dropped down river to the village of the boy who had just been reclaimed. The two boys had fraternized, and coming on the rest of their way together, lying waiting, hidden up a creek for Rmbw, who they knew was coming down river, and having successfully got picked up by him, they thought they were safe. But after this affair, boy number 2 judged there was no more safety yet, and that his family would be down after him very shortly, for he said he was a more valuable and important boy than his late companion, but his family were an uncommon savage set. We felt not the least anxiety to make their acquaintance, so clapped hands on our gallant craft and kept the paddles going, and as no more fans were in sight, our crew kept at work bravely, while Rmbw, now in a boisterous state of mind and flushed with victory, said things to them about the way they had collapsed when the two women in a canoe came around that corner that must have blistered their feelings, but they never winced. They laughed at the joke against themselves merrily. The other boy's family we never saw, and so took him safely to Gaboon, where Rmbw got him a good place.